I'm your host, G2,
And I'm your co-host, Raptor.
and together, we're the Radio Riders.
That's right.
My God, how long the road has been to getting to this point is
It
beyond
really,
me.
it's been ridiculous, honestly.
Is
How long have we been thinking about doing this?
It had to be I had messaged you at the end of a school day like a couple months ago. I think like probably November. No, not November. That's too early.
Actually,
October. It was
actually,
October.
maybe even earlier than that. I don't even remember, honestly.
It was the beginning of the school year. I know that.
Yeah, it was. Mm,
Anyway, enough.
Crazy.
That was mainly my fault. Procrastination is a killer. Not
Nah,
fun.
don't worry about it.
um,
See, the good thing is because you had to send in your computer for repairs. If we had started back then, we would have had to wait a long while in the middle of our 2 episodes, and let's not do that.
that's true. Yeah, that would have been crazy. Good thing we started now, though. We're here. We've begun.
As I always say, some curses are a blessing in disguise.
Yes. So I guess we should just move on. And just tell each other, tell you guys what we're about and who we are.
I
Um,
don't want.
what?
I don't want to anymore. See, I've been thinking about it, and I thought the best way to know me is for me to talk and piss everyone off in the process. So,
um, Raptor is the resident um unpopular opinion man. Get used to it.
people don't like me because I don't like the things they like.
I don't understand. I always try to keep an open mind. I like a lot of things personally. Ryder being one of them. Hint, hint.
And congratulations, we've just introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
That's Geo, and he likes just about everything. I'm me, and I'm Raptor, and I have a counterpoint for that usually. Um,
All right. Um, what else? I guess we could go into
oh,
how long we've been watching Ryder and like what we've
before we do
watched.
that,
Oh,
before we do that, in order to get a full example of how unpopular my opinions are, here's one of them right here and now, because this is something we're destined to talk about every single time we talk. Tajidor should have been final form.
I'm scared to make it a statement. I love Tajidor, but Puto Tier is the final form.
I won't dispute whether or not it is final form, but I will forever say Tajidor would have been a better choice. Now,
Yeah.
moving on, how long have you been watching Ryder?
How about you go first, my beautiful co-host?
Why, thank you, even though you have no idea what I look like right now. I could be wearing a wig. You will like that would change anything.
I know
I'm
exactly what your
fashionable.
armor looks like, Raptor. Do not lie to me.
You're right, you're right. Now, moving on though. I've been watching Ryder for a really long time, honestly. Uh, ugh. As an example, I actually remember when Wizard previews were still a thing.
That's a long
Like,
time.
yeah, like I remember when the Wizard previews were new. I remember when it was still hard to find copies of the Decade movies online. Like, like it's been a long time. I've been watching this forever. It feels like. And it's crazy because for the longest time I didn't even know if anyone else had actually watched the show, at least here in America, because I didn't
Oh
really
yeah.
see anyone talking about it, and I was kind of young and didn't really have any way to get on social medias or anything, so I was limited to a handful of clips I found on YouTube
And a couple
and
movies, correct?
yeah, like a couple movies a lot of times. Like I've watched every denim, like way before I even met any like you, Geo. I watched every Deno movie and every movie Decade was in, and all that. And that's how I got my first introductions to the world of Kamen Rider and a lot of the characters and whatnot. And I'm glad for those times, but now I'm even more glad now that I can actually go back and watch these shows. I've watched like half of the Heisei era by now, which compared to you isn't a lot, but it's a sizable amount, I
We'll
would
get
say.
into that in a minute. Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to watch so many because like when you think about it, every season is like a good 50 or so episodes, and that's a staggering amount to watch, especially more than a handful.
Yeah, yeah. Although
But
there
it's
are
worth
the
it.
other cases where the season itself is shorter, but you just don't care for it, and so it's still hard to watch. But I'm not going to get into that outside of decade. Mm, look, I'm sorry to cut into another bad opinion, but like, I get why people like Decade so much. I really do.
Yeah.
But I watched all of it, including the movies and all that. I'm just like, I don't like it. I really don't.
That is a very
Like
popular opinion, though,
Sukasa's,
to be fair.
I think Sukasa's cool.
Yeah.
Scratch that. I think every character is cool. I love all of the cast and all of like the first another like AR writers and whatnot. Those are awesome too. Like I love all of that. But I would still say that Decade was a pretty mediocre season at best.
I think that's like the general opinion.
Oh, I've seen some people who viciously disagree with me. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but like then again, there's like people who like everything. This is a very wide community. To segue into my experience and my history, I haven't actually been a fan for that long compared to others. Um, I've been a fan. I've been watching for about I want to say 3 years at this point. I discovered it for early, late, not late. Early, not late. Late, not early. I can speak. Like late December 2016. So it was like right at the beginning of Xaid.
Actually, yeah, that would have been the Christmas episode.
Yeah. I think that had just happened when I was watching my first season, which wasn't Xaid, but I discovered it through. I was watching Sentai at the time. I had discovered that like earlier in the year, and so I feel like with most Rider fans, it's safe to say that that is how you discover it. You start
With most, but not all.
you go from you go from Rangers to Sentai, and then as soon as you learn about Sentai and you learn more about the wider scope of Toku, you kind of jump off to a certain series from there, I feel. And for me, that was Rider, evidently.
Me, you go Power Rangers to Dragonite and then the Kamen Rider, and then eventually backtrack and start watching Super Sentai.
Yeah.
That's just because I'm weird.
Yeah. And then my interest.
I'll watch Dragonite. Like, oh my god, it's so good. I love it. That might be the new running meme for me. Like, just shilling out Dragonite. Like, come on, it's that good. Like,
yeah, I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch it at one point. I just I'm pretty busy nowadays.
Like a viewing party of Dragonite. Like, I have it all on DVD.
I mean, we could if you wanted to at one point.
We do. We do need to do that.
No complaints here. But yeah, I do have to thank Emgo, because when I was doing the Sentai stuff, like learning more about it, and also watching Transformer reviews from him, because I also like Transformers. Not as big a fan, more of a casual fan of Transformers, but enough to watch YouTube videos about it. Naturally, I discovered his Rider reviews, and from there I was like, what is this magic? What is happening? Like I think one of the first videos I watched was the one of his like Sengoku driver review, or like a Lockseed review in particular. And I was just like, what magic? What is happening? And
yeah,
then,
going from Transformers to Kamen Rider is always a weird transition.
it is. It really is.
At least I would assume it is, because honestly, I got into Kamen Rider before I got into Transformers.
You go from transforming robots to Karate Bugman.
Karate Bugman. Our favorite. Oh, man.
From there, I started O's. O's was my first season. And kind of just continued watching. And and now I've seen all 20 Heisei seasons to their completion.
And yeah, I'm still. Not only have you like in 3 years, you doubled the amount of Kamen Rider you've watched that I have compared to me at least, and then doubled the like not even doubled, quintuple. You've got 1,000% more Kamen Rider merch than I do. And it's ridiculous.
1,000%. Was that
Yes, that was
intentional?
intentional. That was completely intentional. I was gonna say quintuple, but no, I had to stop and say 1,000% more.
Not
But
1,000%.
it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's quite the journey, and you know it's a good hobby. It makes me happy, and I'm glad to be part of the community. So part of the writer experience, of course, is the week-to-week following of the current season, and that's my segue into catching up, because when this idea began for Radio Riders, before we even had the name Radio Riders, we wanted to talk about 01. Obviously, it is now several weeks later, and we are on episode, I think, like 19. I'm pretty sure. I have to check.
18.
Well, next episode's 19.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's a lot of episodes, and that's a big delay. So we have a lot to catch up on. So I feel like most of the layout of this our first episode, again, so ecstatic to say that. I'm so happy we're doing this.
I guess to really like I was gonna say we should talk about like our favorite seasons and all that, but like we have a lot of 01 to catch up on, so we should probably do that for this episode.
Yeah. We can move in, because like once we do this over the course of this episode, things will get a little bit more week to week standard.
And so
hopefully next week.
Talk about like our favorite riders or
suit designs, finishers,
or
inviting maybe people we know to talk. For like little
wink,
guest spots.
Wink, nudge, nudge. We could get guest characters.
That could be fun. I'd be really excited to do that.
I have a few people in mind on how cool that would be, but you know what? Let's just keep that a surprise.
Save that for later. I don't know. I think I have an idea of what my boy Raptor here is referring to, but I'm not going to say it out loud. I have a feeling I know the group that we are referring to.
Yeah.
So, let's cover the grounds of 17 episodes, and then our in-depth review on the newest episode, being episode 18.
Okay.
So
I think a good way to cover this is
episode by episode basis, maybe.
So what I mean is like you start talking about the different episodes. Because I'm really good at pointing out different negatives, so I just want to...
No, yeah, I can do the positives.
You know, that would be a good format. We'll do positive negatives.
Yeah, it's actually a really good idea. All right, we planned this, I swear. Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, Gio likes everything, and I have a counterpoint.
All right. I guess we could start from before the season started. Our first impressions of 01. From, I guess... we could go with scans, but we're not supposed to know about those.
About Trinity.
So I guess the press conference. We'll start with the press conference.
Actually, wait, no. Me making that joke reminds me. I need to make a little point. That whole we're not supposed to know about Trinity joke, blah blah blah. Stop sending death threats to that guy. Like those guys, like the one guy who brought up Trinity, like. Can we not do that? I think that's a pretty bruh moment thing to do. like that's a pretty bruh moment, really.
Yeah, it's an overreaction, and it's really harsh, and there's really no reason for it, really.
Let's be honest here.
It's not very Rider-like.
It's not really Rider-like of you. Now don't get me wrong. I think that was a dumb thing for him to do.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think we should go tell him to go stub his toe and get a paper cut or something. But sending him death threats just seems kind of over the top.
Yeah.
stubbing your toe. Like stubbing your toe is so much. Telling someone to stub their toe is so much worse than getting a death threat because you can't really like say they're being like a horrible human being and telling you to go and die, but they clearly wish like the worst upon you. Like they clearly want you to have a bad day.
Yeah. Like, it's such an inconvenience. It honestly hurts more, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Death is quick. Stubbed toe lasts forever.
You always feel
You'll
that.
never forget. Even if the pain goes away, the moment won't be forgotten.
No.
It's there.
No, it won't.
Anyway,
Anyway.
now that I've got that off my chest, I think we should finally talk about 01, and you can start, I guess.
Okay, my first impressions.
First
We're going to go
impression.
purely just aesthetic-wise. I was very intrigued by the 01 design. I noticed that it was very slender looking. And as it's gone on, I've gotten really attached to the design, as most people might, or some people might. I don't know. I can't call that. I'm not them. I remember seeing like oh shoot, I almost mentioned some not okay things to talk about. The act. Oh my god, the meme. The meme that was the a jump to the sky turns to a rider kick reveal when Aruto's actor did the henshin pose on stage live was hilarious. Everyone was clowning that so bad.
Yeah, that was great.
I was laughing uncontrollably when I first heard it. I was not expecting that.
Guy turns to a rider kick.
A jump to the sky turns to a rider kick. Okay. It's pretty unique for a henshin jingle noise.
Yeah.
Um,
So is that
I guess that's all I have to say about 01's main form right now.
all right. So as I said earlier, I guess I'll be negative. I'll be negative Nancy because we need a good balance of things.
Yes.
Honestly, I can't really think of anything because like don't get me wrong, like I like the suit, but you know what? I will admit I do have some issues with it. Like, fine, I'll say that. I do have a handful of issues with it. I genuinely think it's a bit too slim for my tastes.
Fair enough.
Like the arms especially.
Yeah,
Like I think the arms are a bit underdone. There isn't a lot going on there.
I'll give you that.
I think the helmet looks a bit funky from certain angles, especially. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I got really thrown off when I first saw the helmet. Like, there was something about it I didn't care for, but for the longest time I couldn't figure out what. And it turns out it was because I realized that it was one of the very first riders with round-shaped eyes since Fours, I think we said it was.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like since Fours, because
Yeah. The
Fours, they
standard
might have
rider
been-
eyes. Like Ghost has like rider shaped eyes, but they're not compound eyes. They're kind of just like flat on the
Yeah, flat.
in the
Literally
helmet,
don't
really.
pop up at all.
Yeah.
Like, so when I first saw another rider with compound eyes, like compound,
Grasshopper
But
eyes, that type of thing.
it really threw me off at first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, like, I'm this is really more of a nitpick than anything, but I'm a little frustrated at how almost symmetrical the suit is.
Wait, is it not
Like-
symmetrical? Oh, it's the belt.
The belt completely throws off the symmetry, and it bothers me. See, if it see the other riders of the season aren't symmetrical, and I'm cool with that. But the fact that 01 is so almost symmetrical,
Yeah.
and it's just the belt that throws it off, kind of makes me upset. But
Yeah.
that's completely just a nitpick.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's a weird nitpick, I'll admit, but it's a nitpick all the same.
Yeah, I could get that. I get behind that. What?
All right, then
Okay.
I guess we'll move
So
on.
plot. All right. So what's happened? All right. So from the first episode, the AI, I'm happy with the AI direction, like the advancement of artificial intelligence and how that would serve in our daily lives. I think it's not unique, it's not original to in anything really. It's a pretty standard concept, but it's an interesting take from a writer point of view. I don't think we haven't had like an robot AI themed um, story um, in Rider ever.
No, we have not.
So
At
really
least not that I
strong.
know.
Yeah, there might be like maybe something small, but again, small. It's not a whole season.
Something in Showa that we just forgot about because I know you didn't watch like anything Showa recently at all.
Yeah, no, I'm still working on that. Yeah, really solid. I like Aruto a lot. Um, he's not. He's a. I guess I have one complaint is. Well, I guess it's not much of a complaint until recently, but he can be a little bit flat sometimes. When it comes to like how he reacts to things. But with like the recent episode, um, we got to see a lot of emotion other than just like happy main rider with aspirations.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
He's also really taken up to being the CEO of Hiden really well. It's actually shocking how. Um, I guess it's because he comes from a line of comedy where that's more of a personal job. So he
Right.
takes more of a personal touch to being a CEO, which that's fun. That's a really fun idea for a main rider character.
Yeah. Mm.
I'm excited to see how he grows over the course of the rest of the year. We're about halfway through at this point, so I'm excited to see how that goes. What about you,
Yeah.
Raptor? How do you feel about Arutojo Naito?
Great segue. His jokes are bad.
Is this? Am I talking the Raptor here and not insert name here?
We're not going to talk about him, although he is my good friend. Don't get me wrong. I adore puns, unlike insert friend here, but man, they're really bad. Like some of them are genuinely so bad that it makes me laugh out of pity.
Well, that's how you know it's Aruto.
Uh, I mean, as a
Clever.
character, I enjoy Aruto. I think, like I truly do. I think he's fun,
Hmm.
but I can also completely get why someone would completely just despise him. Like, I really get that.
Yeah.
Um, See, I don't. I think he's cool.
Me too.
That's just me. Like, I don't know everyone else's daily life or opinions on him.
Yes.
But what I can say is the best character in Zero One is Izu, and I will stand by that firmly.
Izu's nice.
I love Izu.
Yeah.
Izu is by far one of my favorite things in Kamen Rider, just in general now.
She probably has some of the strongest development so far in the season.
Yeah, but that's honestly purely by default, since her whole character arc is going from a one note character to to something more than that.
Yeah.
So, of course, she seems to have a lot of development.
Yeah.
Or at least,
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
I'm not complaining about that though.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah,
get you.
actually, ooh, this is a great negative I can actually work on then, since I'm really trying to do that. With one of the main gimmicks being AI, that means by default, a lot of the characters are extremely flat. Like, they don't have a lot of personality.
You're
Sure,
talking
that's
about the AI characters or like the human
yeah,
characters?
the AI characters,
Mm-hmm.
and that's completely, that's completely to be expected and obvious. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
meant to be a thing. But to some, I can get why I could get that being a little frustrating, since a lot of the focus for an episode goes to these AI, which
Yeah.
don't have super complex character development or super
Mm-hmm.
complex personalities to them and whatnot.
In that, there is a problem. Not a problem. I don't know if they call it call it a nitpick or like a genuine criticism. But it does feel sometimes the arcs are a little bit samey. With like specifically the various AI that we meet.
Yeah,
Then again,
because
that's
really,
probably by design. Like, because the Humagear are becoming more sentient the more contact they have, and that's the same across the board. So I don't really know how to
um,
talk about
hmm.
that.
See, like, how do I put it? It's hard to really explain. Really, see,
Yeah.
it's strange because a lot of the arcs, like a lot of the episodes, at least to this point so far,
Mm-hmm.
a large majority of them really boil down to here's a Humagear.
Humagear does thing.
Humagear does a thing. That's no good. The human doesn't like the Humagear. Metsubo Jinrai hacks them. We destroy them. Here's the Humagear back, and now we can prove that they really can be just like humans.
Yeah.
And now everyone's happy.
Mm-hmm.
And see, don't get me wrong, like I have not gotten bored of that yet, but like I can get that. I can get someone saying that could seem a bit repetitive or something like that. Like
There
I can.
were like the early episodes were like I think the one thing that made them like outside of like seeing more of the show, of course, is like the new forms, like the baseline forms, the side grades for 0, 1, and you know, actually just Aruto. Fubo only got one ever. It's the same with words Iwa.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, it's kind of it was more prevalent in the early episodes, I feel. But like
You
now that we're
mentioned.
moving on to like questions of like what makes a human, and like what are can an AI be something close to a human, and I really am happy with how they are exploring that.
Same, same. I really like. I think that's a really nice thing that they find that they are starting to get into.
Yeah.
There was no they didn't need to start going down that road, but since they did, it's really nice to see it.
Mm-hmm. You can definitely feel the X-Aid in the season since the head writer is writing this season.
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So I think we can move on to talking about some of the other characters and whatnot,
Yeah.
like some of their main characters.
My personal favorite. The
I will
one.
talk about your favorite and then my least favorite, and then we continue from there. It makes sense because these two characters go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Once you hear his favorite, you'll know who I'm talking about.
The angry boy, the pro guy's ripper himself.
Oh, you mean
the
human
shooting
force
wolf?
riser?
Yes, the human force riser. The shooting wolf. Fua. Fua is a really energetic and fun character to watch on screen, I feel. And it's not. And he. Like, you can definitely boil him down as the angsty anti hero secondary. But I feel like what makes one of that caliber of secondary writer worth it is how justified they are and how they develop. And I think the way what they've done, what they are doing with Fua, is really fun, really interesting. I can justify his anger and hate towards Humagear are justified, and I could see someone realistically reacting in the way that he has so far. What with the Daybreak incident and running from tons of hacked Humagears.
Mm-hmm.
It does help that he is played by a pretty wonderful actor. His actor seems very... I'm very bad with actor names. Let me pull it up. Ryutaro. Ryutaro seems like a very cool dude. He has a YouTube channel where he does song covers and he even streams too, like games, which is fun. It's fun to watch Vulcan just playing. I think he's been playing a lot of like a thief simulator recently.
Huh.
But this is not on topic. I'm sorry. I'm rambling really. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna stop you. You were having fun.
I'm gonna stop. He's a really enjoyable character. It does, and I feel like some people could probably nitpick about his thing with Aruto's humor, where he loves his jokes, but I think that's important to make him feel more human and more wide in emotion. It's good that he can laugh at things, because I feel like if he didn't have that, he wouldn't be as likable. What are your thoughts on the shooting wolf that is Fua?
Shooting wolf.
It's a good jingle. At least that part of it.
The elevation increases as the bullet is fired.
It's still wonky wording.
I still don't even understand what that means.
I've tried to interpret it. I'm not going to go into the semantics of it right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like Fua. I don't like, at first, I didn't care for him in the first episode. Because he really did kind of just feel like another one of those riders where, like another one of the secondary riders who hates the main rider for something that they didn't even do. And I'm just like, can you not? Can we not do this again?
Not to mention, he's kind of a jackass.
I mean, a little sometimes.
I mean, he nearly took off Yua's head.
I'm not upset. Just deep breath, like, okay, where's the problem? We'll get into
that in a minute.
But no, I really like Fua now. Especially like literally ever since like episode 3, I've really liked him as a character.
What happened in episode 3?
Well, no, not 3, 2 or 3. One of those episodes, 2, 3, maybe even 4. I don't remember, but one of those earlier episodes.
Yeah.
Like he really just started to like mellow out.
Whatever one where his like whole backstory was a little bit more fleshed out is when I like really started to like him. Because initially I was like, whatever, angry
initially,
secondary.
I was like, oh no, it's Gates and Brave and Spectre, and and I could just keep going really.
Oh really?
But and Excel actually, and
Baron,
and Ignite, and,
I feel like Knight's justified though, because like
Knight's a little justified. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at first I was like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
Angsty,
but after a while,
angry secondary.
Like another angsty secondary who's very much pissed off for really no good reason. But then as the story continued, I really started to like him.
Yeah.
Plus, I just love the suit. So I mean.
Yeah, I like and also he has one of the best suits in the show with Assault Wolf. Don't at me. I really like Assault Wolf. I need SH figure out that like ASAP.
I think we should continue to the next rider in the list.
Valkyrie. I don't know. I'm bad at pronouncing that name.
Valkyrie. Yeah, it's just Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
I don't like her.
Elaborate.
at all. Like, even in the slightest. I don't.
Elaborate.
I don't want to.
That's the
No,
point of this podcast. Now continue.
okay, fine. Okay, so I think it all started with, okay, fine, we'll admit it, the scans.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I first saw her suit and I saw we were getting a second, like a tertiary female writer, I was super excited because,
as we all were, I imagine.
like, I adore female writers. I really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in almost all senses of the word, like in all like seasons, I've always loved them.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, the first time they tried to make a mainstay female writer, they just make her a complete asshole, like all the time. Like I can't, like nothing she says I can trust her even a second, because it never feels like she's being like trustworthy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't even like everything she does is always so shady.
Yeah, it's her nature of being part of Zaya for sure.
You would say that, but when we talk about today's episode, I'm gonna say a few things about that too.
Oh yeah. Mm.
What I was gonna say though was, like, if we look back at the mammoth key, like the mammoth Zetsumetsurai's key,
Yeah.
where she was doing stuff to that, and honestly, we're still not even sure what she officially did with that.
The mammoth key itself?
Yeah.
I thought it was implied that she took it and gave it to, I'm assuming, Guy, and it was turned into a breaking mammoth key. That's what I got from it.
I got something completely different, actually.
Oh.
Like I get that, but
yeah.
At the same time, like who gave Aruto the mammoth key, actually?
I think it was Yua.
Probably.
I don't know, actually. That's a good question.
In my head, it got printed out after they realized, like, after
it might have been.
Izu realized that the mammoth key matched up with the satellite for some reason. I don't remember.
Oh, why am I blanking on that?
Regardless, like, I just won't use that as a point then. But still, there's like stuff like her taking the video of the
yeah, that was that was like a little assassin. I wish we had a more formal name for him. Ansatsu. Yeah, Ansatsu. I'm done. Ansatsu-chan. Yeah, I wish we had. Yeah, no, Ansatsu.
Because he's always just Ansatsu-chan.
Yeah, filming Ansatsu with the intent of like releasing it to the public. That was definitely a order from Guy to do that.
Oh, almost definitely. Like I can admit that.
Yeah. It still doesn't make her. It's still like definitely a shady thing in general. For sure.
I think so, at least. Like I said, that might just be biased because, like, I'm just looking for reasons to dislike her.
That's fair. Yeah.
I've been accused of that before. But that's just truly how I feel. Like, I don't like her, honestly. Like, no matter what she does, there's something about her that I just feel like it just feels wrong to me. Like, she's
doing
something that no one's calling it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. It kind of sucks that our first, like, in front female writer is a double agent.
Yeah, that might be my issue, but I'll talk about her more when we talk about next episode. Now, can we talk about the next writer in the list, Jin?
Jin, rest in peace. For now, I think. I don't know. He's
still in the opening 2 episodes later. So
yeah, I didn't notice that earlier. He was in the opening of this episode, and there's no Fauser.
Oh yeah, there's no Thouser or matter of fact, Jin and Hirobi are both still in the opening out, even though they're both technically, as we know, out of commission.
Well,
And
Hirobi.
Thouser isn't in the in the opening.
Actually,
When I mean out of commission, I mean
when I
Jin
said
is
that,
dead and Hirobi is locked
captured.
up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I realized when I said that, it's probably because we'll probably get an updated opening as soon as the movie trailers aren't in the opening anymore.
Fair enough.
So I think we have like another week or two of those.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I kind of hope so because like as much as like the movie trailers are cool to see, it's kind of annoying. But
Because we
but
can't
I
watch
digress.
the movie.
Um,
That's the only reason they're annoying to me is because we can't watch the movie.
that's true. We have to wait a few months. Anyway, Jin, I miss Jin a lot. Jin was a very fun character, and I hope he comes back. And I'm pretty sure he might. Um, it was kind of so.
Yeah.
It was really cool seeing him develop and like kind of reach singularity.
Yeah.
Um, and I really want to know what if there's a rumor a while back for a new Pro Guys key, Burning Falcon.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. That's pretty rumory, so I wouldn't like take my word for it or anything. I'm sorry if I spoiled anything. I kind of realized after saying that. Um, but we haven't seen anything like listening wise, so it may not be true. It could be pre Bandai, but we'll see. I want to know if that was real or not because I really liked Jin a lot. He was a very fun character to watch on screen. Um, and he kind of had a chance at being. The sad thing was he had a chance of being being a good. He had like a chance at being converted. I want to say when he in his first transforming episode where he was kind of questioning what was going on around him before Hirobi gave him a force-izer and it reprogrammed him back to the status quo, which is hack human gears and try to eliminate humanity.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I miss his energy. Hey, at least we got to see his finisher before he
Yeah, we got to see a
disappeared.
flying falcon, like a flying dystopian or utopia, whichever it was.
I'm pretty
And
sure it was dystopia. I'm not entirely sure though.
regardless, I'm glad we got.
It doesn't
to see
matter.
that down.
Yeah, that was a cool finisher. I liked it. All right. Anything you want to say about Jin before we move on to the Purple Man?
I don't like the Force Riser.
Huh? I thought you did like it. Or is this a joke?
Okay. Yes.
Yes, the joke, or I'm confused.
Definitely.
Gotcha.
Let me actually explain a little bit. At first, I thought it was kind of weird. I didn't care for it at first. I thought it was kind of bland. After a while, it kind of grew on me, and I started to really like it. But then a little while after that, I didn't care for it as much again.
Mm-hmm.
Like my opinions of it basically shifted from it's boring to it's simple, it makes sense, it's a neat name, to it's kind of boring still.
It doesn't do much. It is
I'm
like
not gonna hate the Force Riser, but
yeah.
It's basically the splash driver of the season, in my opinion. It doesn't really do.
I want to. Okay, I'm gonna debate that because the Force Riser still has potential because it has any key can be used with it still.
True.
The splash driver of the season, and I still will say this, is the Falcon driver. Oh, and I thought that's a between us thing. I thought I should mention when we say splash driver of the season, we mean those belts that are introduced typically around like the early middle point of the season, and they use a gimmick, but the gimmick is very limited and
i.e. Splash Driver, only having 3 bottles for it. the Beyond driver having a grand total of 5 watches made for it.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
stuff like that, where like they could make more, but they're not going to because it doesn't really serve the plot. And also the functions of it are limited for whatever reason. Like the Splash
So
Driver
even
only
if they
has
wanted to make more, they basically can.
yeah. And I feel like the Thousand Driver might be on that road, but we'll see. You can never know. We don't have scans anymore.
Yeah.
But you know what? Surprises are cool, and I'm excited to see the surprise.
Right. Now, moving on, I guess, to Hirobi, I guess.
He's cool. He's all right. There's not much. I don't really.
Hirobi might be my second least favorite rider so far.
Yeah, he's cool, but like he's not exactly riveting as a character. He's just kind of like, ooh, I'm the leader. I was the
Remember
leader.
my earlier point about Humagears and how basically by design they are all one note?
Not just Hirobi.
Yeah, Hirobi.
Except Hirobi doesn't change.
Destruction.
At least.
And yeah, he's already apparently reached singularity, so there's no further his character is gonna go.
Well, I mean, singularity just means he has emotions now, so he could change. It's just that I think he's very rooted in his ways. Yeah.
Right.
We'll have to see. I hope he changes. I hope he like can. I don't know. Do we want Hirobi as a hero rider, or do we want him to stay villain rider? What is your opinion on that?
I'm cool with him being a villain.
Yeah, same. I don't know if I want him as a hero. Like I feel like the way he's been set up, I feel like the best way for him would be to stay a villain, but you never know. I mean, there's certain riders that turn good that you'd be surprised actually were going to turn good.
Right.
Yeah, he's all right. He's got a cool his debut episode, his stomp battle against Phil was fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's all right. That's it. Definitely, probably my.
Right.
Now that I think about it, now that we've talked about it a little bit more, he's probably my lead. He's definitely at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to rider characters in this season so far for me.
Yeah, because, like I said, his whole gimmick really is that he's a Humagear bent on destruction.
Yes.
And by design, that means he doesn't really have much character.
No.
So that's a bit of a shame.
Like I'd say Ikazuchi was better.
Ikazuchi was great.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ikazuchi.
Ikazuchi was cool. And I think that's it. I guess we could go for a guy. No.
Yeah, I guess we worked that point.
Yeah.
Presented by Zaya.
Yes. Presented by Zaya.
The following topic is presented by Zaya.
He's cool so far. I know that some people don't like him. I do think he might.
For some reason, I don't know why.
I think the reasoning for that is I think so far he's just kind of been like a snobby main villain rider, and that's about it. Then again, he just got like fully. He really, when you think about it, he's been in the show since like that one episode, like where we saw him without his, we didn't see his face yet.
Right.
But he's really he's really become a full-fledged cast member only like a couple weeks ago at this point. So I guess we have our verdict. My verdict on him is still out. We'll have to touch back on that in maybe like a couple weeks in like a later episode or something.
Yeah, definitely.
But his rider suit is cool, and he is fun to watch fight. That's all I can really say about him right now.
Here's my opinions on him so far. Presented by Zaya. I really like Tenshin. I think it's one of my favorites in the season so far.
Yeah, it's a really good Tenshin. I forgot to mention.
I really like his jingle too, because I just love how much that tension jingle just really hypes him up. Like he is God finally appearing. Like this is clear. Like they're hyping him up like this is the actual second coming of Christ, and it's so funny. Like I'm like they're clearly having a lot of fun whenever they show him off, and it makes me happy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And not to mention, I just think that he is a fun character to watch. See, it's the first episode. I already got to bring this up. I'm honestly a huge fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I am. And honestly, Dio is always one of my favorite villains. As basic bitch as that is. But guy really does have that air to him where he's gold. He's a bit of a prick, but all things considered, he's still fun to watch. He's an enjoyable villain, unlike some villains in some other seasons. But that's a talk for another day.
That took me a minute.
That's a talk for another day.
Also, you brought up him being kingly, and I was thinking about this recently. He said like one point, like a couple weeks ago, like, "Oh, I'm crafting a legend of you guys. You know, the legend of the Kamen Riders," and that got me thinking. I think he sees himself as like an Odin, like a Zeus. Like he's clad in gold, you know, on his base, you know, that's his base form. And he's clad in gold. He's got a crown with the 5 horns on his head. And
Frost.
You know, even like going to the opening, the opening, the last shot of it being like the 5 initial riders of this show so far, being 01, Vulcan, Valkyrie, Hirobi, and Jin. They're all kind of posed like great heroes, and they're like even shrouded in shadow, and that got me thinking maybe he intends to become, you know, like the top, like the god of gods, sort of.
You might be right. It's a good point.
Like even Valkyrie is named after a mythological being the Valkyries from Norse mythology.
And so if he did see himself as an Odin, that would make sense why he would have his,
and even Valkyries were, you know, warriors for Odin, and you can see Falser as kind of like the Odin figure, and Valkyrie works for him.
Right.
Mind games.
So like now's a good time to actually talk about like the current episode then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. This
okay.
is the time I've been waiting for. See, yes. Guys, while we've been talking about doing this episode for a long time, and we've known we were going to do this episode today, we purposely didn't talk at all about the episode to each other.
Yeah, I haven't said a single thing to him about it, and he hasn't to me.
All right, so let's start.
I don't even know where to start. It was just a really good episode.
Yeah, it was great. It really was.
And for the record, this is episode 18. This is My Floristry. What's the name of it?
Oh, thank you for the cut-in, I guess.
Yeah, just to make sure we're all on the same page for what episode we're talking about right now.
Turn your Kamen Rider Bible to page...
Chapter 01, no?
Blah.
Whatever.
Turn to the Book of Reiwa.
The Book of Reiwa. Chapter
01.
Section 01, Chapter 18.
There we go.
There we go. Beautiful. I don't even know where to start.
I know where to start.
Yeah, you go ahead. I know you have a lot to say about this, so.
We'll start with a bit of a meme. That audio screw up.
Was there an audio screw up?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
When they showed off Shining Assault Hopper and played the When I Shine Darkness Fades clip.
Damn, did they? I didn't even notice that.
Yes. And it was, because when I heard, I thought I heard something Hopper, and I was like, okay. But then I heard, as I saw what I thought was just, Assault Hopper. I didn't know at first. I was like, okay, it's probably Assault Hopper. I
Mm-hmm.
hear when I shine, darkness fades. I'm like,
That's Shining Hopper's engine
wait,
tag.
that's Shining Hopper. Like, why is Shining Hopper here? And then it shows Assault Hopper. I'm just like, I mean, Shining Assault Hopper. I'm like, wait.
Huh. That's
So which was
alright.
the suit or the jingle? And then they start
Definitely.
showing suit doing its things. I'm like, yep, figures. The audio mix up.
Yeah. Well, I what was that? That's like the first like major one I can think of. I don't know. I don't really notice big. I don't notice like that those types of screw ups too often, to be
Well, it's
honest.
my job to be negative Nancy, so I gotta notice stuff like that, right?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um,
So yeah, I just thought I should get that out just in case.
that's funny though. I bet. I wonder if that's been added to the Writer Wiki yet. Yeah, it is.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's under errors on the newest episode. That's great.
That's funny.
People are fast. Valkyrie fast. Um, I don't even know where to start. I guess I just need to remember where it started from.
Talk about whatever you want.
Okay, first, the action scene in this episode were really, really good. The
Which
Vulcan
one?
versus Valkyrie, and then the subsequent Vulcan versus Fauster fights were wow, just wow. We had just like the fight between Vulcan and Valkyrie before we get to the Fauster fight was so good. Like they were so evenly matched. You saw a really good like Valkyrie really using the speed to her advantage, dodging and like running around, hiding behind like cars in the car park and like the the various
I also like that little clip
pillars.
When they both formed and their bullets were like hitting each other.
Hit each other. Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, that was a really, really, really cool fight.
Yeah,
And also a little bit of like a story payoff with like the whole, one day we might have to fight. Vulcan was like, yeah, and I'll win. And he did.
yeah, as expected.
And then Bowser shows up and Vulcan shuts right up.
Wolf. No. Stray dog.
That was good. I love when writers do that. Like I love when they do that with the writing. Like calling back to like motifs of certain characters. So that was that put a big smile across my face personally.
Does put a smile on my face. Anyway, see, that was cool. I really did like that. That fight was nice. Like, actually, I did really like how Assault Wolf popped in for a while, and it honestly looked like Assault Wolf and Bowser were fighting equally for a little bit.
Just for a second.
Like Bowser was taking some hits and flying back, and then he just stands up, brushes his shoulder a little bit, and stares blankly at Vulcan, and is like, "That it?" Like you could feel the fear in Vulcan right then.
Yeah.
Oh shit! This is bad. This is really bad. Wait,
this is not good.
I'm getting myself killed using this assault grip, and he is just shaking off the blows.
Vulcan, like, and I found it funny, Fauster straight up justice kneed Vulcan before his rider kick finished.
Knee of justice?
Yes.
No, that was literally... That was a forward air to down air combo. Like, Fauster is a Captain Falcon player.
That was a brutal rider kick.
Yeah.
That was a brutal rider kick.
Yeah, it was. Like, it's been so long since we've seen a rider just get kneed in the chest for a finisher.
That wasn't even the finisher. That was like the down, like, drop kick. Yeah.
And then he de-transformed, like, right after, like, stomping on him. Just walked away from this fire pit, basically, that Vulcan had become, like, unfazed.
Yeah, he was beat up, too. He was really bloody, wasn't he? I don't remember, like, what was bleeding, but he was definitely, like, bleeding from the lip, and other places.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Also, I think we can talk about the fight with
Ooh, the Shining Assault versus Faucer versus the Buffalo Raid. But it's really just...
the Buffalo Raider, even though the Raider didn't really do shit for most of the fight.
Yeah, it was just kind of in the
Let's
back.
be honest, he was kind of outmatched here.
He was definitely outmatched, for sure.
It was cool to see a human become the monster, though.
Yeah, I was worried that... I was wondering if they were going to straight up kill a dude.
You know, I've been thinking about that for a while, too.
Yeah.
And part of that works into this whole theory I've crafted, but I'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fight was really cool. It was crazy to see how little effect even Shining Assault Hopper had on Bowser.
Okay.
But
to be fair,
this does fit into the whole thing with Kamen Rider, where they like to continuously escalate things.
I have a counterpoint for that. I don't think that was Shining Assault not being up to par. I think that was more Aruto not really fighting. He was mainly just trying to push Bowser away from the raid and get them to stop fighting. Right. That wasn't a true fight, I guess would be the word for it. Like, there was no...
I can agree with that.
Like, Bowser was fighting, but Aruto was just kind of... I don't know what the word is. Like, I can't... There's nothing... He wasn't really doing anything other than just, like, pushing him and, like, saying, stop it. That's about it. The plot of this episode was really cool, though.
Yeah.
Getting to meet... it's nice to know... It's interesting that a human gear hacked by the Ark doesn't... Their memories don't get corrupted.
Right.
And so they can be rebooted.
That's always good.
I really liked the flower human gear. I thought she was very pleasant. Ichiren was her name.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's basically all I have to say about this episode, outside of A, my theory, and B, mini rant. Remember when the leaks first came out? Like the theory, like the rumors, like for his motif, for the 01 motifs and all that.
Yeah.
And I had said that I had guessed light bulb somehow.
Oh yeah.
I still say I got super close to that, and I'm happy. Good.
I do want to mention
seeing Shining Hopper.
I find it funny that Shining Assault, the assault grip, has been replicated. So that might be the kiss of death to the Shining Hopper form for the most part.
Which sucks because I really, really like Shining Hopper.
I don't think they'll fully abandon it, but like it's gonna fizzle out soon.
Which sucks because it was only around for a few episodes.
Yeah.
Not even.
I don't know. It's part of the form heaviness of recent seasons. Forms have become a lot more abundant recently, really, and as a result, certain forms just get pushed out because they're not up to speed with what the new form is.
But when I shine, darkness fades.
Nah, this ain't a test.
When I shine, darkness fades.
That next up, so the unfortunate thing is the next upgrade that happens is probably gonna kick Shining Hopper down from its spot, and then Shining Assault will be the new Shining, and then the new form. I'm not gonna say what it is, even though I know what it is. I think we should. This is a little decision making in the middle of the cast, but I think we should stay away from leaks because there are people who want an authentic viewing experience, and I think we should be able to give that to them.
Right. but we won't stay away from Raptor's crazy ass theories. Okay.
No, that's fine. That's part of the fun. We get to theorize about stuff.
Now, here's my crazy theory for this episode, okay?
Yes.
But it's actually a two-part theory, okay?
Okay.
So, part one, Thouser is not a villain.
Oh?
Yeah, that's my official theory. Thouser is not actually a villain.
Alright.
He's a bit of an asshole. I will never dispute
Agreed.
that. He is definitely an asshole. But if you take a look at all the situations where he's actually fought,
He's been defending people. Or
yeah, he's been defending people and actually been, you know,
taking out
like the first time
human
he was
gears.
taking out a Magir and taking out 01 only because 01 insulted him earlier, let's be honest. That one line from episode 17 probably really got to him.
The dinner. Oh, it's at 764%. Shouldn't it be 1,000? Yeah, I'm a whoop that ass later. Is what Guy was thinking.
Yeah, but so that debut fight, he took down a Magir.
And in this, he took out a raid.
01. No, I wasn't even done with that first.
Oh,
debut.
my bad.
He only fought 01 because 01 was actively trying to stop him then.
He was, yeah, that's true.
And then, in the very next time we see him fight against Vulcan, it's only because he's coming to the aid of his assistant.
And his employee, yeah.
His employee, not even knowing the details of why they're fighting.
Just fighting, yeah.
Like, he sees one of his employees and assistants, and probably someone he sees as a friend deep down inside, being attacked, and he's like,
Yes.
Okay, look, you stray mutt, I'm gonna put you down.
If you try and bite again.
Yeah.
And then the next time is the raid.
You get a raider attacking, and 01's still trying to stop him. And so, of course, he has to take down both. And the moment the raider goes down, he's done fighting.
Yeah.
And then you look at all the scenes where, like, the scene where it reveals that the one Flores champion, like, master, was cheating, and Thouser pops up and is against him.
He was
like,
angry.
Viciously.
Yeah.
Some would say it's only because he's trying to protect the reputation of
the company.
Enterprise.
Yeah.
But I would say it's because he does have a heart. He was originally trained by
Who's under the, like, he was like a colleague of Aruto's grandfather.
Yeah, 12 years ago, which is still BS.
I can't believe he's 45. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah. But yeah, like I'm seeing all this, and I'm just like, is he really a bad guy? Like, it's clear that he doesn't even know where the Raiders are actually coming from because he's consistently telling Yua to go and figure it out.
Yeah.
He also doesn't know where they are. And
No.
I'm gonna get to that for the second part of my theory. Like I said, it was a two-parter.
Yeah.
But, like, yes, he's a bit of an asshole, like I said. And yes, he did send the secondary satellite, the ARC, into the space just to study negative emotion. But really, that's more of a twisted sabotage plot than actual malice.
Yeah.
Like, he's just, like, that was more than anything just trying to prove how easily corrupted
When
the
you
human
think
beings
about
can
it,
get.
the two writers at this point, being 01 and Fauser, are pretty much, they are the complete opposite of business point of views of what I'd imagine business is like. You have the personal person being in Aruto, who is more about making sure the customer is happy. Well, I mean, of course, that's a priority for both of them. But like the more hands-on approach, make sure everything is all right, as opposed to the
if you're
put my
not doing
business
your job
ahead.
correctly, you'll be put out of the company entirely type guy.
Put my business ahead of everything else, no matter what. Hence the ARC sabotage.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, whenever there's something like a monster directly created by the ARC, he's still going out of his way to go and stop it.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a heartless, evil villain, unlike some people. Like, you know, like Metsubojinrai.net.
Most
Like,
of those members, yeah.
like, those guys are clearly bad guys because they just, like, their only wish is
Their
for
goal is to kill
extinction.
humanity.
That is clearly a bad guy, like, ambition.
Yeah.
But Bowser, his ambition is A, pull his business at the top, and B, remove human.
Be stylish.
Why? But yeah. But but I get why he wants to remove human gears too. His whole plan is to show that human gears are dangerous, and they can be. And so basically his plan is just to protect the people.
Yeah. And also evolve them, apparently.
Yeah, and evolve them, because he feels like they can be pushed ahead before human gears ever become like a thing, Yeah. So I can't really see Bowser as the bad guy. Like, yeah, he's a dick, but he's not a horrible person. He's clearly on the side of good, I would say.
Yet.
Like, if you read between the lines and actually understand what's happening, then he's very much a good person.
All of his actions are very justified. God dang it. Justified as of right now, but we'll have to see. He might have an ulterior motive. We don't really know yet.
Right. But as of right now, at least, I don't really see him as a villain so far.
Yeah, me neither. Well, now I don't. That's actually that's a lot of good points.
You never thought about it like that, did you?
No.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I guess I did.
You woke sometimes.
I guess, like, subconsciously, though, like, it was more, there's, like, that thing of, like, Arto, what are you doing? Like, it's, you've killed several human gears at this point, and you've saved people by doing it, so what makes these two cases any different, really?
Right, and why are you trying to stop Bowser? He's trying to help you, really.
Also, another point for you, for your that theory, outside of in-suit combat, when a violent attacker is involved, whether it be a raid or a Magir so far, outside of that, he's very civil with Aruto.
Yeah.
Like, they have lunch together sometimes, which I found kind of funny.
Yeah, that is great, honestly. They're sitting there having lunch. And it's not even just sometimes. It's like...
It's been every episode so far.
Well,
that's
not much, because he's been, like...
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
But, honestly, if they have lunch again next episode, I'm gonna smile.
Yeah, it's kind of pleasant. It's just like...
like, it's just two business people having lunch.
Yeah, having a business conversation about how much they're going to sell more than each other.
Yeah.
Another point, by the way, Fauster's background track is, like, background music track is quite intimidating. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not fully, actually.
It's whenever he transforms, it's right after he transforms, it's like hard orchestral hits. It's like boom, 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 boom. Every single time. I think it fits him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, man. His weapon's really cool, too. The 1,000 Jacker is really sweet.
I've seen a lot of people actually dissing the 1,000 Jacker, and I can't understand why.
The toy or in show?
In show.
Really? Why?
People are saying they can't take it seriously or all that. And I'm just like...
What about it not serious?
I don't know. I haven't gotten responses from people I've asked. Yes, I've actually seen them, like, on Twitter and whatnot. I'm just, like, actually responding to their comments and questioning them, like, why?
That's a good question.
What's wrong with the 1,000 Jacker?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty, like, cool weapon. I think the idea of it stealing powers, jacking them, is really cool. That's interesting. I'd like to know what the thought process behind that is.
Yeah, what's the thought process behind not liking something? That's actually a really interesting question that someone could get into one day. What is the thought process? What's that blah within
Well,
this thing?
it's
But that's a
probably.
little too advanced for our common at a podcast, I think.
I mean, I don't know. Like that's like really a question of like what you grew up with and like what you're used to, if anything.
Mm, fair enough.
Then again, this is all really silly if you look at it. So I think,
Yeah.
as far as weapon designs, I think the Thousand Jacker, as far as sounds and design and function, is pretty
Honestly,
normal looking.
I might say that it might be one of my favorite weapons so far. Like out of the ones we have in 01.
Yeah, I'm surprised like it wasn't a weapon for one of the Metsubo riders.
Yeah,
It feels like a weapon that would have fit them more.
maybe a little.
I'm not saying like it doesn't fit uh, Guy, but like I feel like stealing things and like jacking or hacking abilities feels like a
That's
Metsubo
the right
thing.
thing.
Yeah, you got me. You get it.
Yeah. I get you.
I get you. I get you.
But now that we've talked about Metsubo Jinrai, I think it's time for the second part of my theory.
Oh
I think
yeah,
I know who
Bo.
that hooded figure is.
Who is it?
Stupid drum roll, please. I don't have actually anything to drum on. There we go. I think it's Yua.
You think it's Yua?
I think it's Yua.
Really?
Yup.
Fascinating.
Yup.
Huh. How come? What's your is it a hunch or what's the evidence for this?
It's a mix of a few things, really. Part of it was part of it is honestly a hunch. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but a lot of it actually, especially after episode 18, just kind of when you connect the dots, just kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like when Fua confronted Yua about fixing Hirobi, Yua didn't even try and fake an answer. She immediately
Oh,
retaliated.
that's true.
She didn't even try and fake an answer. She immediately attacked. Not
Yeah.
even. And I thought that was weird because usually, like when confronted with that, you either tell the truth, fight because you're cornered, or you at least attempt to lie.
Yeah.
No, she immediately was like, "Okay, time to fight."
I didn't
Two,
think about that.
two. She was the person on duty for protecting the Buffalo Key.
Oh yeah. That's
She was
her.
one of the only people with access to it outside of God. And
That's like her MO. She does like progress key stuff sometimes.
mhm. Three, we know that the hooded figure at least has a feminine voice.
That's yeah, because we've heard it.
Yeah.
That's
Four,
a really interesting thing.
four. Fauser knows nothing about where the Raiders are coming from.
Yeah,
And
that is also true.
he even confronted Yua, albeit somewhat privately too,
Yeah.
which is why I know he doesn't know anything about it. He pulled Yua aside to ask her to look into it.
That's I didn't even think about that. That's cool. That's actually really nice. What if it's just resurrected female Jin?
Okay, that'd be funny, not gonna lie. But like
With Yua's face. Not Yua's face. Izu's face. My bad.
I know, right? What was I gonna say? But yeah, like it's clear that like blah. It's super clear to me that wait, I forgot a part of my theory.
Oh no.
It's the part of the like I forgot to mention. I mean, I remember it now. Part of the new hooded figure's job and whatnot is well, okay.
Hack humans?
We'll start
I
with
don't know.
this.
Can we say that?
Let me start with this actually. Usually with a hooded figure, if it wasn't someone we knew about, especially in Kamen Rider, their faces would have been revealed by now. Like if it wasn't someone we're
Supposed to be a reveal.
If it was just a minor character who we haven't seen yet, they would have just revealed it by now.
That's true.
They wouldn't wait to build up the secret if it's someone we don't know anything about. Like that's just not what Toei does.
That is fair. That is
Two,
very fair.
this person is clearly oriented towards evolving humanity, which is Zaya's big thing. And the only person who fits the whole momentum of the whole character list that we've created, where they're female,
Mm-hmm.
they work for Zaya's like company, or they work for Zaya, or want to go with Zaya's goal, and you know, everything else I've mentioned. The only person who fits all of that is Yua.
That
She's the
is
only person who fits everything right.
very true. I didn't think about that.
Which is why I genuinely think this new hooded figure is Yua.
That's very interesting. I want to see if that holds up. I'm very intrigued to see if that holds up. Also, it looks like the next raid is the whale raid, the splashing whale raid.
Huh.
It looks like a whale.
Actually, that's the cool thing about the
It is.
I just remember Horobi's throwaway line about how this new person could be right behind Vulcan.
Fua? Oh, yeah. And who's right behind Fua most of the time?
You know.
Yua. Because they were partnered at one point.
I need to figure out like the name meaning behind Yua's name, because I feel like that might actually, like, we might actually.
I feel like it wouldn't be as obvious as that.
Hey, could you imagine though if it did match up to the bow of Metsubo Jinrai?
That'd be interesting.
Like, that'd be hilarious.
Although Bo could be the movie villain for the 01 movie.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Although that's a very if maybe.
I just typed in Yua into Google, and it popped up Yua Yaiba immediately, and so that's fun.
Have you looked her up before?
No.
Huh.
Oh, and the Rider Wiki has her listed as an anti-hero, and I think that's
fits.
fitting.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
Where would I find like name information? Like at the bottom?
Yeah, I just looked. It's not there.
Nothing there. Important.
No. Just about her rider name.
Huh.
Yeah. That's a really good theory.
Hirobi was shown to have data on Yua. What?
I don't remember. Oh, yeah. I think I remember that.
On episode 8.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting. Hold on. This could be like not related at all, but
date on Yua of all people, like that's such a weird thing.
That is very fair. Oh, excuse me.
I think I cracked the code.
All right, well, we'll see if this theory holds up.
Could you imagine if it does, and I'm like the first recorded person talking about it? That would have been cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool. That would definitely be quite enticingly cool.
For you, I'll give you the credit. Cool. Cool. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
That's a really good theory. I didn't even think about that. My stupid theory is it's the long-haired Izu from the opening.
Hey, that might just be who it is.
It might be. Shit.
It's the battle of theories now. Long hair Izu or Yua, which is it gonna be?
Who knows?
Matt surprised.
Or maybe it's no one. Maybe it's no one we even know yet.
Neither of them.
Yeah, but that's a good point. They haven't showed her, and like, if it was gonna be someone that we did know, they wouldn't show her.
Right.
Although getting a female Metsubo member would be kind of cool. Like as far as like a new suit would be.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I think Metsubo people are just purely human gear, aren't they?
I think so.
We'll see. It's very plausible. Well,
We seem to talk about quite a lot of interesting things, I gotta say.
that was a fun. This was a fun deal. I'm glad we were able to come together and do this. Finally,
Yes. Yeah, it took a while, but
it did. It did take a while. Oh man. Do you have any closing statements?
Borger.
Juju burger? Burger, I mean.
Juju Borger.
Juju burger.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper.
All right. My
I'm sorry, I
final.
just really like that. Famitsuda, all that good shit. You know. That's
Fumatsuda. All right.
Watch the next episode. Find me on fanfic.net, I guess. Shameless plug here.
I'll put each of our Twitters in the description of the video. If you liked it, you don't have to like. That's lame.
If you like it,
if you like it,
dislike it, DM me on Twitter and talk shit. Like, really tear into me. Like, make me feel like I want to die. Like, come on, bully me.
if you disliked it, hit the dislike button. That's what I'm gonna say. And if you did like it, share it to some peeps. Again, thank you for tuning in. Let's rather kick this off. Bye-bye.
Bye.